Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Mohammadqamaruzzamansaheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Tuesday, the 18th of Ramadan, 1446, 18th of March, 2025. This Majlis took place after the Taraweeh Salat at Jamia Nurul Ulum, Gataman, Palanpur, North Gujarat, India. Our Hazrat Wala starts off this majlis by quoting the ayat Alif Lam Mim Dhalika al-Kitabu la rayba fi hudan lil muttaqeen. Our Hazrat Wala is saying in this safar many bayans and talks were conducted. It was in explaining, making tawdeeh of Kitabullah and Sunnat Rasul. Nothing new but whatever we have explained in the past. All ulama also, when they are speaking, they keep the Quran in front of them and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is a kitab that there is no doubt in it. Now nobody can ever make this particular type of claim other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there is no doubt in their speech. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that ulama are learning and teaching. They are spending their days in that. However, over and above that, they have to create a special connection, shaghaf, a passion with the Quran and the hadith. Rather, that's supposed to become their essence and their entire life. Greater than the Quran, there is nothing. There is no doubt in the Quran. Can anyone make this claim? Can anyone say this? Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, by and large, used to make kalam and speak on the Quran Majid. When Allama came from Darul Uloom Deoband, he spoke on these same topics. It is not this year that a person is a mufassir and that's where it ends. No, a person should ponder. He should go deeper into the meanings of the Quran Majid. Now here, the audience is more of that of ulama and talaba, scholars and students. You people are making muta'ala as well. You know, when I go back home, I speak about you people, that these people come with so much of eagerness and they gather to learn the talks of deen and iman. Allah Ta'ala give us all a benefit. So our wazifa is the kalamullah and the sunnat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should make it our everything, orna bichona, our everything. Allah Ta'ala give us this tawfiq. So here we are reading about the nasihat of Hazrat Sayyidina Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala an. So Hazrat Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala an gives nasihat to his son Abdullah ibn Abbas. He says, وقال العباس لابنه عبد الله إني أرى هذا الرجل يعني عمر رضي الله عنه يقدمك على الأشياخ. He says to his son, I see this man, this personality, I mean Umar radiyallahu an, he is giving you preference over the seniors and the elders. So Sayyidina Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala an did not just say shabash and congratulations and I'm happy with you. No, he advised his son, فَحْفَظْ مِنِّي خَمْسًا. Learn, remember 5 things from me. Since Umar radiyallahu ta'ala an is giving you preference over the elders, He's brought you close to Him. Then listen, remember 5 things. لا تفشين له سرا. Don't ever let any secret of His go out. Always keep His secrets. وَلَا تَغْتَابَنَّ عِنْدَهُ أَحَدًا. Do not ever backbite anyone in His presence. So I have been much through all of this year. I've seen it myself that how Buzrugan-e-Din have dismissed people from their gatherings, rather from their khidmat and from their closeness and nearness. They've chased them away. So listen, take these 5 things from me. The second one is that do not make ghibat of anyone in his presence. Now ghibat, you would find it so much in when it comes to our mashayikh, meaning people would come there and start backbiting of this one, that one and the other. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah said, Ashraf Ali, you rather leave. It's better if you go. Now what was all that about? It was because of this very same thing now, that people had seen excellence in him and they had seen that the Shaykh was bringing him closer, etc. Now so much has been mentioned here. So do not backbite anyone in front of him. وَلَا يَجْرِبَنَّ عَلَيْكَ كَذِبًا. And he should not experience any type of lies from your side. وَلَا تَعْصِيَنَّ لَهُ أَمْرًا. And never disobey him regarding any matter. وَلَا يَطَّلِعَنَّ مِنْكَ عَلَى خِيَانَةٍ. And he should not become aware of any type of deception from you. These are the 5 things that I advise you with, since Umar radiallahu ta'ala an has brought you closer to him and you have become his confidant. فقال الشعبي, Sha'bi has gone on to say, كل كلمة من هذه الخمس خير من ألف. Every one of these words has more greater value than 1,000. These words, these sentences, these 5 statements, each one of them are more superior than 1,000. Now Hazrat Imam Ghazali has compiled all of this here in the Ihya'ul Ulum, which is, you would find under the Akhlaqiyat, and all the tricks and the plots of the nafs, etc. So those who stay near the elders or somebody who has trust in you, you should most definitely learn this. There were many very close ones who were taken and thrown out of the courts of the mashayikh and the elders. So ghibat, a person should stay away from it completely and totally. It is from the kaba'ir. अल्लाह की मारिफत अपने नफ्स की मारिफत पर मबनी है. The recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is suspended upon recognizing yourself. أقول, the author of Tarsiul Jawahir al-Makkiyah writes that I am saying قد أجمع العارفون على أن معرفة الله تعالى مرتبة على معرفة النفس. That the Sufis, the Arif Billahs, they have a consensus upon this point, that the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is suspended upon the recognition of oneself. Therefore, فَمَنْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَهُ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ. The one who recognizes himself indeed has recognized Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now from the Hashia here, our Hazrath is writing that in Nata'ij Asrar, which is the kitab of Sayyid Mustafa Arusi, commenting and remarking on this particular portion, Man arafa nafsahu arafa rabbahu, he says, a person supposed to understand and recognize himself and his qualities, and he should understand that it is the effects of the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, it is the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, so if a person has understood this here, he will recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person doesn't need to understand it from kitabs. He needs to understand it from himself. So all of this here, what you see, actually, any excellence anywhere else is actually coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one who has understood this here well has understood Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if a person understands this well, that it is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he understands this well, even a peer, even a sheikh, he must understand himself that I am the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am not Rabb, I am not Allah. If a person understands this here, he understands himself being a servant, and he has to be in the service and worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is something very, very great. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to go and relieve himself. After exiting from the toilet, and he would come and we would be present there, what was his impression? On so many occasions, he would say this to us, that listen, I was in the toilet, I picked up the dhela, the sandstones that was actually used to make istinja before using water, and he would go on to say that I picked it up, but can you believe I couldn't even hold it in my hands, it fell out of my hands. Now what was all of this here? He was trying to tell us this very same ma'rifat, that I couldn't even do this here. He was recognizing himself. He would come out and say, due to my weakness, I couldn't even lift up the water can, the lota that we use to wash ourselves in istinja. So when a person keeps in his mind his du'f and his weakness, he will not, never ever understand himself to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ma'rifatun nafs ma lahu wa ma alayha, ma laha wa ma alayha. So understanding this nafs, what is for the nafs, what is against the nafs, etc. This here is important. So there was nothing to show us. He wanted to show us this ma'rifat, that how weak he was and how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Hazrat Taraweeh rahimahullah ta'ala came. He sat down for waz, and he was unable to speak. He was silent, despite all the great knowledge he had. After that he said to himself, but I have so many kitabs that I have written. Let me take one of those kitabs, and then from there I would speak. He done that also, and he could not understand anything. He was unable to speak. And then, what was his impression? What was he passing over to the people? That listen, I could not do it. That was my weakness. Allah Ta'ala baat kara de, warna kuch nahi. If Allah Ta'ala allows me to speak, otherwise it is nothing. So here, we need to understand that insan has these two strengths within him. One is the strength of his desires and his lust and passion, and the other one is the strength of his anger. But he needs to control both of them, and he needs to use them according to the demands of aql and the demands of the shari'at. And this here actually is husn khulq, which is praiseworthy. The opposite of that is su'e khulq, evil character, which is most disgusting and abhorrent. So if a person is able to control his lust, his desires, his shahwat, then good will come out of that. What will be created is that of iffat, chastity, qana'at, contentment, zuhd, abstinence, wara, piety, haya, modesty, and so many other of the sifat-e-sharifa. And so when a person also controls his anger, then what will come into existence? Actually bravery, honor, nobility, tolerance, forbearance, forgiveness, etc. from the good sifat. So when a person is tolerant, he swallows his anger. He doesn't even realize how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give him on that side. Allah ta'ala give us that tawfiq, to say the name Allah. It is greater and better than the dunya and whatever it contains. Now if Allah Ta'ala gives tawfiq, then we will glow like that of the 14th moon. Understand it to be from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If Allah doesn't give tawfiq, nothing can be achieved. If a mistake happens, ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for forgiveness. So we need to annihilate this nafs, annihilation of the nafs, fana of the nafs. And this is why Ramadan has come. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, he went to Hazrat Taraweeh, and Hazrat Taraweeh went to Haji Imdadullah. Why did they go there? What did they go for? They went so that they could get this type of ma'rifat and recognition. They went there and they tolerated this reprimand, the scolding, etc. When these elders seen something which was unbecoming, they scolded. And because of this type of discipline, scolding, rectifying, islah, from where to where they had reached, nobody can even understand. Yes, that those difficulties will come. When you go and spend time with a saintly person, you would be put under certain things. And then, when you are tolerant, then you would achieve so much. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say, as the days of Ramadan would pass by, kuch hasil karna. Ramadan islah ke liye, wilayat ke liye aaya. Ramadan has come for reformation. Ramadan has come so that you can gain this sainthood and closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, if somebody said that I made so much of tilawat and this and that and the other, he would go on to rectify that and say, but tell me, those adhkar and dhikr that I asked you to carry out, did you carry that out or not? You need to do that also, because the fuyuz and the barakat of dhikr are separate, and the fuyuz and the barakat of tilawat are separate. Okay, so we continue. Hasil kalam is this, that istiqamat karamat hai. The greatest miracle is that of being constant on your a'mal. فالكرامة عندهم في هذه الدار إنما هي الاستقامة على النهج القويم. So these saintly people, miracles for them is not actually carrying out the supernatural acts. No, rather it is to be consistent and to be persistent on the a'mal that we are carrying out. Istiqamat, or rather karamat, the greatest miracle is actually rida anillahi ta'ala fi jami'il ahwal, to be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every condition. وَهَذَا مَقَامٌ جَامِعٌ لِعُبُودِيَّةِ الظَّاهِرِ وَالْبَاطِنِ. And this here is a very, very great stage, which is very all-comprehensive for the servitude and the humility, this of being a banda externally and internally. So to be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is something very, very great. It is a karamat, to be constant with a'mal and to be pleased in every condition with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ أَعْلَى الْمَقَامَاتِ. It is the highest of all stations. وَقَالُوا, these saintly people say, لَيْسَ الرَّجُلُ الَّذِي يَمُدُّ يَدَهُ فِي الْهَوَىٰ فَيَرْجِعُهَا مَمْلُؤَةً دَرَاهِمْ. The man, the great person, the saint is not that person who takes his hand and passes it through mid-air. It is empty, he passes it like that in the air, and his hand returns to him full of money. So he has nothing in his hand, he strikes it in the atmosphere like that, and he finds his palm full of wealth. No, that's not the saintly person. Innamar rajul. The man of Allah is actually this person, man yada'u dirham fi jaybihi, the one who puts money into his pocket. Thereafter, after some time passes, he puts his hand back into his pocket looking for those dirhams and that wealth. فَلَا يَجِدُهُ فَلَا يَتَغَيَّرُ. He doesn't find it. But because of the loss of all that wealth, there is no change in his spiritual state, in his condition, in his face, in his heart. Allahu Akbar. So listen to this last part again. Al-karamatu al-mu'taddu biha shay'an. This great karamat, all comprehensive and overwhelming, in short, is actually comprising of two things. Aqeedatu ahli sunnah wal jama'ah. If you want this greatest miracle with you, number one, you need to rectify your aqaid according to the beliefs of the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And the second one is wal istiqamatu ala ta'at. It is to have istiqamat, consistency on your good deeds. Allahu Akbar. To harche as dost mi rasad, ne cost, everything that comes from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is only good in it. There is only khair in it. This whole system and exercise that Allah ta'ala brings upon us of the holy month of Ramadan is actually one entire month so that we can become habitual. That if anger comes, we will be able to tolerate and be forbearant. We will be able to swallow it. Sometimes these elders, they would send murids from themselves to other people. They would go on to say, listen, not here, go that side there, your islah will take place. And islah and going to the Buzurgan-e-Din is actually for this reason, so that we can get the highest levels of abdiyat, this servitude, and we can reach the maqam-e-rida, where in every single condition that comes upon us, we are pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has prohibited us. That's why we don't eat. You know, this kitab here, it is written there, the hawala is Tarsi'ul Jawahir al-Makkiyah. This is a kitab, the original is in the Arabic, of a great Arab alim from Misr. So, karamats is not something which is abhorrent or something that is disliked, this karamat. But it is something that a person should not chase behind and desire for. So sometimes Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, his style was like that. He would ask a question to the people who would come there, that he would ask them that what do you want? So the person would go on saying, I want a karamat. So then he says that, tell me, do you want to see the karamat in me as the sheikh, or do you want the karamat in yourself? The person would go on to say, I want it in myself. So then he would go on to say, Acha, oh, is that it? Now his style was that. He was a muslih and a great reformer. In fact, some understood him to be hard or harsh because of aspects like this. It was not like that. He would go on to say, oh, it seems like you want food, you want to eat, meaning that you want to let these karamats fall at your hands, supernatural acts, and then people must become amazed, and then they will throw money at your feet. He was straightforward, saf go. So oppose your nafs and search and seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala has granted us an opportunity. You know, so many people have come. We should make our nafs according to the shari'at. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say to us, and then he would say, take this message and go and tell to my family people and to my daughters. He used to tell me that farmate the ke is saal to mehrum nahi rahna, is Ramadan ko mehrum nahi rehna. That listen, at least this time don't be deprived. This Ramadan don't be deprived. Nisbat hasil karna, ab kuch hasil karo. Achieve this nisbat and this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala bless us with the khususiyat and the great features and specialities of Ramadan. Allah ta'ala bless us with barakat. Greatly possible that it is the last bayan here in Palanpur. That's why I lengthened it as well. The whole objective is to become subservient in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to bow down in front of Him, the expression of abdiyat and ajizi inkisari, of helplessness in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala mujhe bhi tawfiq de, aap Hazrat ko bhi tawfiq de, balki tamam ummat ko. Allah ta'ala inspire me, He inspire you, rather He inspire the entire ummah. So we want to become muttaqi in this Ramadan. Whatever our condition is, we should strive for a condition which is even greater than the present condition that we are enjoying. We're speaking about spiritual states. Not this year, that whatever hal we had, we are going backwards. Is martaba, mahroom nahi rehna. This time, don't be deprived. This Ramadan, let it not be that you are deprived. Ramadan banane liye aaya. Ramadan actually came to make us, to build us. So listen, you people came, you stayed for a while as well. Listen, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. In this Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala bless us with His love. He bless us with His recognition. He bless us with His nisbat. The Muslimin, wherever they are, Allah Ta'ala remove their difficulties. Let us make dua. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك الرحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك اليسر والمعافاة. Allah Ta'ala, out of His grace and His kindness and His compassion, make all our matters easy for us. All those who are struggling or in difficulty, Allah Ta'ala remove their difficulties. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the fuyuz and the barakat of the holy month of Ramadan. Rather give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of appreciating Ramadan. Whatever broken ibadat we made, Allah Ta'ala accept it. Allah Ta'ala bless us with every type of afiyat. What can I say? With my concluding remarks and impression is this much here, that I could not fulfill the haqq of bayan, but we continued and we were at it. Allah Ta'ala accept it, and Allah Ta'ala make it a means of illuminating our path here in this dunya and in the akhirat. You know, the entire year back at home, I tell people about you people and your salient qualities and features. Allah Ta'ala protect one and all. Allah Ta'ala grant us afiyat in our deen and in our dunya. Allah Ta'ala reform us, and Allah Ta'ala bless us with success. Our children also, Allah Ta'ala keep them all with afiyat. So we saying khanqa. We saying khanqa. That's where we have come to. Allah Ta'ala bless us accordingly with the attributive quality. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the qualities that people of the khanqa supposed to have, that they should have. Allah Ta'ala bless us with those sifat. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.